Welcome to the Reschexpert blog presented to you by www.Rescheck.info. Today we want to talk to you about Rescheck Experience. You can find this blog at www.Rescheck.info. Scroll down to the Reschexpert blog section, click on Rescheck Experience. Experience is something you generally gain right after you actually need it. In terms of Rescheck Experience, it can take on several forms and definitions. Rescheck Experience Definition 1. The amount of experience, education, or practical exposure someone has with creating and managing Reschecks within Rescheck Web and Rescheck desktop software. Or Rescheck Experience Definition 2. The entire experience of creating a Rescheck, from the time you begin your research on the topic of Rescheck reporting to when you finish construction of your home. The entire process of Rescheck creation and lifespan of the physical Rescheck itself. This version of the Reschexpert blog covers all aspects of Rescheck Experience and how Rescheck.info's Rescheck Experience can help you with your new home construction addition or alteration. Rescheck Experience. On the Reschexpert blog, we want to talk to you about Rescheck Experience. Experience is encountering or having practical contact with. In terms of Rescheck.info, your search for Rescheck Experience could take on a couple different meanings. The following would be good and practical examples of Rescheck Experience. Rescheck Experience. The amount of time a Rescheck creator or Rescheck service has spent creating actual Reschecks, working with building inspectors, and developing calculations within Rescheck Web and Rescheck Desktop. Rescheck Experience number 2. This would encompass the entire process of how your actual Rescheck was created, from the moment you started developing your Rescheck research to the final inspection when the building department reviews your Rescheck compliance certificate posted on your electrical panel. So let's dive into each type of Rescheck Experience now. When we look for a Rescheck service, one of the main items we want to know is if the person creating the Rescheck has experience with Rescheck Web and Rescheck Desktop. At Rescheck.info, we specialize in the two softwares and routinely create how-to guides for new users, do-it-yourself Rescheck creators, anyone else that might have experience in error message while creating a Rescheck themselves. We have always been told that the quickest way to learn something is to teach it to someone else. That is the primary reason we created the Reschexpert blog, to help others create free Reschecks efficiently. When we run into an issue with Rescheck software, it has become second nature to share it with others for free in our Rescheck blog. This allows us to not only sharpen our own Rescheck experience and skills, but also enlighten others as they try to gain Rescheck experience and expertise for themselves. Second type of Rescheck experience is how you decide to have your Rescheck created. This includes everything that goes into Rescheck selection, Rescheck creation, and Rescheck construction process from start to finish. You begin by researching online about Rescheck reports. Then you make a determination as to whether you will create a do-it-yourself Rescheck or hire a Rescheck service like www.Rescheck.info to create the Rescheck for you. Whichever you choose, you should have a Rescheck ready and created in 4 to 6 hours if you use Rescheck.info as a Rescheck service. If you do the Rescheck yourself, it could take you 10 to 12 hours, possibly longer. This is all part of your Rescheck experience. Then after your Rescheck's ready to turn it in to your building department, you should prepare for the scrutiny of your building inspector. If the Rescheck passes on the first submittal, fantastic. If the building department wants modifications to your Rescheck, then it's time to log back into Rescheck Web or Rescheck Desktop and try again. If you use Rescheck.info as your experience Rescheck guide, then we handle all Rescheck modifications free of charge. If you do the Rescheck yourself, the changes are also free. However, it will cost you some of your own valuable time. Once your Rescheck is updated, resubmitted, and accepted, you can move on to the construction of your project. After it's completed, the building inspector will inspect the structure versus your Rescheck and then post a final page of the Rescheck, the Rescheck compliance certificate, in a prominent spot, typically on your electrical panel door. Now, your Rescheck experience is complete. We appreciate you reading about the different types of Rescheck experience you might encounter while entering the world of home energy auditing for the first time. We thank you for reading the Reschexpert blog. If you'd like to use our Rescheck experience to create a Rescheck report for you, then email us a PDF plan, job site address, and square footage to service@Rescheck.info, and we'll get you taken care of. If you're ready to get started, just scroll up to the top of the page. Click the little sandwich icon. Click Buy Now. What that's going to do, that's going to take you over to our Rescheck store. First item in the store is going to be that $79 Rescheck that we've talked so much about. And there it is. You are ready to go. Thanks again for listening to the Reschexpert blog.